Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's my birthday. If you are watching this video the day that it goes live, it is my 31st birthday and I am off celebrating, hopefully doing something fun. I don't have plans as of the time I'm filming this video, but I am excited about my birthday and I thought it would be fun on my birthday to react to the video that I posted around my birthday last year, which was the 30 things I wanted to do in my 30s. So last year was a big milestone birthday, and so I uploaded a video sharing 30 things I wanted to do over the course of my 30s. Honestly, I haven't watched that video since it went up last year, so I don't actually know which ones of the things I've accomplished or which ones I might decide I don't want to do altogether, or maybe I've made progress on some of them. So let's watch it together and see how it's gone so far. We're 1/10 of the way through my 30s. Other people, but let's start with the easiest one first, which is get married. I'm currently engaged. We are scheduled to get married. I did think I'd include something about getting married, so hopefully by the time you're watching this video, check. The next one is to become a mother. I do want to have kids. I figured this one was in here too. If you watched my goals video for 2022, that is something we've started preparing for, something we're making progress towards. Obviously, I haven't checked that one off yet, but definitely something that I've started working towards. Charlie's over there saying, excuse me, you're already a mother. The next one is to buy a house. This is actually one I'm kind of indifferent on. I think this is part of my goals for in my 30s because it's in Sam's goals. He has much more of a desire to be a homeowner than I do. If it would work out with my life, like I would rent for the rest of my life and be totally content. I know, you don't need to come at me with all the like financial reasons why that is not a good decision. I understand. I have a financial advisor as a fiance who has very much so explained to me the benefits of owning property and not renting. It is a goal that we're working towards. It is a goal that we're saving for and probably will still happen in my 30s. All right, the next one is one that's kind of out of my control, but I am hoping happens in my 30s, and that is to become an aunt. I still can't believe I included this. My 4 siblings. If you don't know, I have 8 younger siblings, but they are much younger than me. I am turning 31 today. My next closest sibling to me is only 24, almost 25. So it is still very possible that by the time I'm 40, I will have a niece or a nephew, but that is putting a lot of pressure on my siblings who are much younger than me. So if you're watching, I'm sorry I included this. I love you. All right, the next one is to fly first class, just something I've never done. I do still want to do this. I don't have plans to do it anytime soon. Sam and I actually recently had a conversation about this, about booking, whether we were gonna book business class for our honeymoon, and we decided that we would rather splurge on like hotels and experiences and just suck it up for the flight over there. And also that even if we did splurge for our honeymoon because it was a special occasion, we weren't in a financial place to fly business for every other flight that we have around the world. And so we would be kind of like teasing ourselves with that experience. So this is still a goal of mine, something I do hope to hit at some point in my 30s, even if it's just a domestic flight for now, because I know that is much more feasible financially, but yeah, definitely still a goal. The next one is to run a Disney race. I've never been much of a... This is definitely still something that I want to do, and actually something that I talked to my dad about recently doing together. So my dad had not ever really like heard of the Disney races, I guess. And when I was down there in January, we were kind of talking about Disney because I just gone on my bachelorette party and we were also talking about running. And I was like, yeah, that's the only way you get me to likely run a long race is through a Disney park. And we were kind of talking about it and he was like, I would do that with you. And I was like, well, great. So now not only is that a goal of something I want to do in my 30s, but I want to do it with my dad. All right, the next 2 are both artists that I really want to see live. They have been on my like dream concert list for a very long time, and so I am putting it out there that I'm going to make this happen in my 30s. The first one is Beyonce. I just really want to see her live, and the second one is Zac Brown Band. So I was like waiting for this to happen. Okay, so he actually just recently announced, I want to see Beyonce. Someday I will see Beyonce. Zac Brown Band just announced their tour dates and they're going to be in New York in the end of summer. And I sent a text to my one other friend who I know likes country. I think Sam would go with me if I really asked him, but I have another friend who really likes country. And I was like, we need to buy tickets to this. And I don't remember, they go on sale in like March or April. We need to revisit that because they are going to be here in New York and I want to see them live. Like that's something I could check off this birthday, this year, 31. All right, the next one is to go on a proper road trip. We obviously went on road trips a lot in did I really say that after driving all over the place in 2020 to like get out of New York? Like we drove all the way to Texas and then to Chicago because it wasn't safe to fly. And then most recently driving to Chicago to drop stuff off. I don't know that I still feel this way about a road trip. The next one is to host a dinner party. Still true, still don't know when that's gonna happen. I need that's a post New York. I need like a proper dining room with a large table to do this. In that same vein, the next one is to eat at a Michelin-starred restaurant. I am not... Okay, so one of my 2022 goals, if you watch my goals videos, is about a New York City bucket list. And I made my version of the bucket list, and then I went to Sam and asked what he wanted to add, and this is one of the things that he added originally, he added to the New York City bucket list, and we were gonna go to 11 Madison, which is close to our apartment, and it is one of the like most renowned Michelin-starred restaurants. Turns out it went completely vegan. And don't get me wrong, I have been to some all vegan restaurants that have been absolutely delicious, but if we're gonna pay like those prices, I want steak and I want meat. So we looked at some of the other options, and there are other delicious like tasting menu Michelin-starred restaurants in New York, obviously, that we can go to. But one of the other best like Michelin-star restaurants in the world probably is in Chicago, called Alinea. And we've never been. We went to the bar version that they had here in New York. It's since closed, but they had a bar in New York and we got like super, super fancy cocktails. Well, what I suggested was, instead of trying to force it in New York, since 11 Madison is that was the dream and it's no longer the dream, what if we saved up for it and did it as like a celebration? We moved to Chicago and we went to this really nice dinner. So that is still on our list, and we actually now have like a plan of what restaurant we're gonna go to once we move. The next one is to create a wardrobe that I'm proud of, and still true, still a work in progress. On a mission to make this happen last year, but then I started working from home and was like, well, what's the point? I'm not gonna go through my clothes now. And so I think this is something I'm gonna wait. I guess I did technically make progress on this goal last year when I got my colors done, and I know what colors I look best in, but the actual wardrobe part of it, still very much a work in progress. All right, the next one is to learn another language. And so, still true, I actually talked about this recently on a Patreon call, that I really wanna learn Mandarin. That is definitely a longer term goal, like later in my 30s, but still a goal. The next one is to get back into piano. Definitely still a goal. Also one of those like post New York goals, because where am I gonna put a piano? Part of it is a space issue. Where are we gonna put a keyboard? All right, the next one is to be a bridesmaid, and still haven't technically checked this one off, but I am going to be a bridesmaid in June at my friend's wedding in Ireland, and I'm so excited about it. Okay, the next one is to create a sustainable, healthy lifestyle. And I do feel like I'm getting there. I'm still not sure what I meant by this. I do feel like I've made good progress in that regards, a lot in the last year, but I also feel like this is so in flux, always, like this type of goal. So I don't really know what I meant by this. Okay, the next one on the list is to get a dog. I think Sam got in here on my list and tried to add something. I am not opposed to getting a dog, but I'm not necessarily, I feel like every day I am getting further and further away from wanting this to be a goal, because I love dogs and I love hanging out with my friends' dogs and I love petting them and snuggling them, and they're just so cute, but they are just so much work, and I don't know, it's just not a priority for me, but we'll see. The next one is to move to Chicago. So this is another one like getting married that I just was a gimme. If you haven't heard me talk about it before, we love New York and we are gonna miss it greatly, but we want to raise a family closer to other families. So we are planning to move to Chicago to be closer to my mom and my siblings. So definitely still the plan, not something we've done yet though. And the next one that I hope will be kind of a result of that one is to get closer with my siblings. I'm like I said, I'm the oldest of 8, and the next closest one to me is 6 years younger, and then I love that one, and that one's definitely still true. I actually do feel like in the last year with wedding planning and like my sister, and then even my brother's girlfriend who was at my bachelorette party, I do feel like I have gotten closer to some of my siblings, and my brother who's a groomsman. And so I do think the wedding stuff and then hopefully spending that weekend with them has helped with that goal, but I do think once we move there, it'll help too. The next one, I don't think I've ever said out loud in a video, but I would love to write a book. I don't know what it would be about. I forgot I included this. Not something I've started to make progress on in the slightest, but definitely something I still want to do. All right, the next one is to get my ears pierced again. If you've been around for a while, like, I did that. It was an adventure, but I did that and then it got infected, and then it's been an adventure, but I did it and it's pierced. Check. Okay, the next one is to figure out a consistent cleaning routine. I was going to check this off last year. It was one of my 2021 goals and it just didn't happen. Still not something I figured out. Maybe in the next couple years, who knows? Okay, the next one on my list is YouTube related, and that is to hit 100K on YouTube. Not for any other reason other than, I don't know how I feel about this goal anymore, truthfully. I think 100K on YouTube has gotten this big, like, it's just been built up for everybody because they send you this beautiful plaque and it has become like a thing. And so for me, YouTube has been more about connecting with the people that are here and having the people that discover my channel be like the people that I want to build a community with, if that makes sense. Like, I want it to be I want it to have the right vibe. I don't want to grow just to grow. And so I thought I realized that more than a year ago, but maybe not. Maybe I did not realize that since I'm filming this video, because honestly, I don't care about numbers. The numbers on Instagram, YouTube, wherever, they do not matter to me if the people that I'm interacting with are not the people that I want to be interacting with. All right, the next one is to visit Africa. So definitely still on the list. Have not made any plans toward that. And I feel like that might be a little ambitious given our like family goals for my 30s, but someday. All right, the next one is to get a tattoo. Just kidding. I have zero pain tolerance. Like, I can't even get shots. Okay, so that's funny because a year ago, that's what I said. I have been seriously considering it. I guess some of these things or these thoughts, that is why I'm glad that I'm doing this video, because some of these thoughts, that I said a year ago, I thought that I realized this prior to turning 30, but I guess not. No, I actually now have thoughts and plans about getting a tattoo. And I was just talking to somebody recently, and I think there was a mindset struggle that I was having between getting a tattoo and working in a corporate job. Not that you cannot have a tattoo working in a corporate job, you absolutely can, and I have plenty of coworkers that did, but that was just a block that I had in my head. And so I don't know if I feel like it unlocked. Maybe that unlock happened after I made like the solid plan to quit my corporate job, but definitely in the last 6 months, I have been thinking and kind of daydreaming about getting at least one tattoo, if not more than one. Okay, the next one is to get paid to speak on a stage. And interesting, still a goal of mine and something I do feel like I'm still working towards, but I have been putting speaking and public speaking kind of on the back burner in terms of business related things. And it's not that I don't love it. I love speaking on stage and it's one of my favorite things, but it's just not as much of a priority for me right now in my personal life and my business life. And so definitely still a goal, I guess, for my 30s, but I'm not as concerned about that happening anytime soon, truthfully. All right, the next one is to get consistent with doctor's visits. I feel like still true, still not good at it. And now that I like have a different insurance, I feel like I have to figure out some new doctors. I also used to see doctors that were in the building of my corporate job, and now that that's not the case anymore. But then part of me is like, am I really gonna find doctors that I love and then move? And so I don't know. I'm still not good at this, still a goal. All right, the next one is to do more volunteer work. I feel like, definitely still true. Have not made progress on this. Likely I'm using the excuse of like it's not safe when that's not true. I could safely volunteer for sure. And I actually just saw an advertisement for a company here in New York. It's called Claim Our Space Now. My friend Vicky is a part of it. I don't know if she's on the board or she just helps with them, but she posted about them needing in-person volunteers. And so I signed up to be on their like volunteer list for physically like here in New York. So still a goal of mine. Have not made progress on it yet this year, but definitely still something that I want to do. All right, the next one is to buy a nice mattress. That may sound, that is definitely still on the list and also on the like post-move list that Sam and I have definitely talked about a lot and we've looked at mattresses. I do remember one of you commenting on this video, by the way, saying that we should go ahead and buy a nice queen mattress and then just use it as a guest room mattress in the future. That way we have a nice mattress. And that was a really great suggestion. And if we move to a place in Chicago that we can't fit a king to get the nice like double-sided mattress, that is what we'll do. We will buy a new mattress, just buy a queen and then make it a guest. We just didn't want to buy a mattress that we then have to pay to move. All right, the next one is kind of similar to hosting a dinner party, but I really want to host a major holiday. And whether this is still true and something that I have in my head put as like the once we move kind of thing, but I think we might actually try and do it this year and like start it this year. And I think I've decided and settled on Halloween as that holiday. I want it to be a holiday that like I could do it a different day of the week and it would be fine, unlike like New Year's or Super Bowl has to be done on that day. And you know me, I'm not a weeknight kind of girl. So I need it to be something I can always make on the weekend. And I also love Halloween, one of my favorite holidays. And I just think that would be a good fit for us. Thanksgiving feels like a lot of pressure, or Christmas morning maybe, or Passover, or Rosh Hashanah, or I guess I meant like a major family holiday, not like a party for Halloween. Oops. All right, there is one other travel one, but I didn't get specific as like a country, but I really want to go wine tasting in Europe. I thought that's what I was gonna say. Definitely still true. We are going to Europe later this year, so I feel like I should have gotten a little bit more specific, because we're going to Ireland. We're not going wine tasting in Ireland. Really, I mean, I want to go to Italy, France, or Spain. And then the last one on my list is to do a CEO retreat. So this year, that's interesting, because that's definitely something I still want to do. And I used to say like I didn't feel like I could do it until I left my corporate job and like I really truly was the CEO of a business, which is ironic because I was gonna add a bonus one. When I filmed this video, quitting my corporate job was in my radar, but there was not a set plan. It was not gonna happen in 2021 in my head at this point of my life. And it was something though that I knew was something I wanted to do in my 30s. But it wasn't something I was ready to share with pretty much anybody except like Sam and my parents at this point. Actually, I don't even think I told my dad as of the filming of that video. And so I didn't include it in this video, but in my head it was like, oh, that's like a bonus one for sure. And so it was a bonus one, but one I did not think would happen until later in my 30s. So not only did it happen, but it happened in the first year after I turned 30. What a big year. 30 is gonna end up being a pretty big year for me. But that was really fun though. I thank you for hanging out with me and going through that again. I feel like some of those have stayed exactly the same. Some of them I've already checked off, and some of them I don't know what I was thinking a year ago. It's amazing how much can change in a year. So if you liked this video, I know it was just fun. It was just hanging out, but please give it a thumbs up. I would appreciate it. If you're new here, please click that subscribe button. I upload new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday focused on helping you achieve your goals. Thank you so much for watching. Thing that we have started preparing for, but definitely still on the radar. On the radar? Are you kidding? That is still on the radar. No, stop saying that phrase like it. I don't know why I feel the need to say all these words. I thought I had further fun.